Good morning, everyone. This morning we are going to cover an economic subject in general, but Japan in particular. We are going to discuss in brief what actually drives Japanese economy and what is the reason that Nipponic economy is so powerful. Number third in the world. It was number two before 2011, but after tsunami, it actually fell back behind China. Before 2011, it was second in the world, just after USA. Still, it has lots of potential. But Plaza Accord between Japan and America has created some kind of scars for Japanese economy, and those scars are still bleeding. If there was no Plaza Accord, Japanese economy would have been even ahead of America for sure. So, title of today's subject is Japanomics or Nipponomics, created by our own GAI. I have actually chosen 5 points to elaborate for our students, for ourselves, and for our readers and listeners. Point number one is exports of Scientological products. Japanese economy thrives, inhales, and exhales on only one thing, or one of the things, I should say, and that one of the things, most important thing is exports. As we discussed last week, that exporting countries are always rich, importing countries are poor, exporting countries are replete with forex, importing countries are deplete with forex. So all the Scientological products all over the world, Toyota, and Maruti Suzuki, and all kinds of computers, and all kinds of Scientological things, and all kinds of mobiles, and all kinds of chips, all kinds of technology from sender to satellite. Japan is ahead of all the nations. And all other nations actually depend upon Japan for all those Scientological marvels. Japan exports all kinds of Scientological marvel everywhere in the world, and Japan has become number second, now number third nation in the world. But still, believe me, Japan has more potential than China to get ahead of China within the next decade. And if tsunami would not have come, or Plaza Accord between America and Japan would not have materialized, taken place, Japan definitely would have been ahead of America, without any shred of doubt. Point number two, talented and skilled workforce. Japanese workers are untiring, motivated workers. They are very skilled. They keep on honing their skill. They keep on revamping their skill. And they do every single thing without being told. They do every single thing being untold. Whatever their skill, they push their skill. That is the important quality of human being. If you are working somewhere and your boss is pushing you to hone your skill, revamp your skill, increase your skill, enhance your skill, that is a shame. Human doesn't need this kind of pull or push. Animal needs. Animal needs. You must have seen some animal which are very arrogant, obstinate. Two people are actually working on it. One is pulling it, other one is pushing it from the back. Then and then that animal is going to walk. We are human. We can be manimal, but we cannot be animal. Manimal. And the Japanese are neither animal nor manimal. They do every single thing without being told. Doing every single thing without being told. So, talent and skill. These two things are going to jack you up to the jack. These two things are going to take you all the way to the seventh cloud or apogee from perigee. Point number 3, ethical approach in Alpha to Omega. Every single thing they do, they're ethical. They don't cheat on time. They don't cheat on their performance. They don't cheat on money. They don't cheat on anything at all. Ethical, every single thing is ethical. If they go to the toilet and they see the tap is dripping, they are going to close the tap tight. Or they are going to complain to the maintenance that the tap is dripping. When they leave, they are going to turn the lights off. And if they don't need any extra light, they are going to turn it off. These are the small examples I'm giving you, but in big example, millions, not millions, but billions of dollars are in their hand, but they are not going to cut even a little corner. They are not going to buy coffee with that kind of money. That kind of ethical approach, that kind of skill, that kind of work, that kind of ethical workforce from Alpha to Omega can actually turn every dystopian society into utopian, every purgatory into paradise. Point number 4, zero tolerance to corruption, dilatory, and nepotism. Japan is totally free, totally immune to corruption, nepotism, or dilatory lifestyle. Dilatory lifestyle, as we see everywhere in our nation, we go to the bank, you're going to see that the person is doing every single thing very, very slowly at the pace of a snail. Most of the time he is not there or she is not there. You ask, neighbor, then the neighbor is going to say, she is going to work. No, she is not going to work, or he is not going to work. He or she has gone to the toilet, they are just fixing their hair, they are chewing on mava or a bitter leaf, they are washing their face or talking to their colleague. Two colleagues are going to toilet together, they are standing over there and talking. It's my personal experience. I went to bank to deposit money in the fixed deposit account, and I was only the person. There were two guys. Two chairs were there. One guy was sitting, other guy was gone. So I asked that guy, so he said, he's coming. I waited for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. I told him, I said, is he coming? Otherwise you do the job. Or third option is that I'm going to go to the manager. I told him I'm a buyer, not a beggar. I have not come over here to get the loan, but I have come over here to deposit hefty sum of money, and I am an NRI account holder. He got up, went to the toilet, and brought that bastard back. That son of a bitch SOB was sitting over there in the toilet. That is why, you see, the government doesn't work in India. Because the people are lazy bastards. They are manimals. People who are working in the government are all manimals. They go in government for two reasons. One, to relax, and the second, to loot the government. Bribe, corruption, graft, cutback. Every way you make money. You loot the nation, loot your motherland. And then you go home and either you perform namaz or you go to the temple and use your ding-dong. You lousy, conniving people, you cannot actually have better nation than what you have. You just cannot have better nation. If you want a better nation, then you have to become better first. Nationals should be better. Then the nation can be better. Point number 5, cutting edge education. Japanese kids go to school, leave for school home at 5 o'clock, go to the railway station, pick up the commuter train, go to school at 7 o'clock, leave school at 3:30. Come home around 5 o'clock, eat their lunch or early or pre-breakfast, pre-dinner, whatever you call it, and after that again they leave and return home at 10 o'clock. 320 days. In America, 180 days. Japan, 320 days, They are taking break, summer break, winter break, Diwali break, whatever the break you call for 45 days. Rest of the days of the year they work very, very aggressively, very, very motivatively, and very, very diligently. 45 days off. Now come to India. Here we study only 45 days. And we have 320 days of celebration. This celebration, that celebration, this celebration, national celebration, religious celebration, Papa's birthday, Mom's birthday, siblings' birthday, child's birthday. We are a lazy breed. We don't want to do anything. That is why we steal. There are two types of people in the world. One, who are caliber people. Caliber people have confidence and they believe that they can earn money. They don't have to steal. They will commit suicide rather than steal. Second types are people who have no caliber to make money, so they have only the thing to steal. They don't have caliber, don't have any kind of competence, do not have any kind of grit or gusto to earn money. They are lazy. They are miserable humanity. They don't have any kind of guts or gusto to make money, earn money, so they steal. Japanese are people with caliber. So, education is cutting edge with untying motivation, untiring motivation, I should say. Untiring motivation. They don't get actually tired of motivation. Their motivation starts from womb to tomb. It starts in womb, ends in tomb. Their motivation begins in conception and never ends. It's an untiring motivation, untiring chase after education, untiring pursuit of success for nation. Nation comes first in America, sorry, in Japan, even in America. In India, nation comes the last. That's all the time we have. Thank you very much for listening. See you again next time. Until then, God bless everyone on this planet.